Hello friends, welcome to the Cold War Prepper. This is Lee. So I just want to share with you some doom and gloom, okay? And then after that, some solution. Saw a video today from Alaska Prepper, and he has some fantastic, phenomenal documentation. It says there's going to be a critical food shortage. Canadian Prepper says, of course, we're on the edge of World War III, so does New York Prepper. Gregory Mannarino and I allegedly both say that we're on the edge of financial collapse. Mary Greeley and Dutch Sense are talking about earthquakes, and especially along the San Andreas Fault and possibly over to the Long Valley caldera. And Mary Greeley's talking about, she keeps a constant eye on Yellowstone, and so she's talking about a swarm of earthquakes today around Yellowstone. Suspicious Observer is talking about the change in the Earth's polar cap, and that is a 12,000-year cycle that we may be approaching very rapidly, and that we may have a polar shift that can cause another ice age here on Earth. We've got City Prepping just put out a video today concerning the energy failure, a grid failure. Angry Prepper says all of the above, as does Gerald Salente, who's a famous financial advisor. Goshen Prepping and a couple others. Prepper Dog came out today with some warnings about the imminent cyber attacks against the U.S. and how that could shut us down. So what's the solution for all of these? Food. Food and medicine. So make sure you get your Jace case. And I'll have a link for that down below. Please make sure you have plenty of antibiotics. I mean, I have seen what happens to people when they get exposed to raw sewage or it gets accidentally into the drinking water system. I know how horrible it can be, and without proper medication, antibiotics, it could have been terminal. Please invest in antibiotics for your family through Jace. That would be a fantastic way to do it. I'll have a link down below. I get a small commission, I will admit, but it's something I very firmly believe in. Now let's talk about food. Well, let's talk about some food I didn't bring, because I can't move. I got so much stuff here to show you that I'm literally hemmed in by food. But some of the things, get a box of Bisquick, put it into something where you can seal it, air save it, because Bisquick can go bad pretty quick, but you want to put that into another package so you can get most of the air out of it. Get a bunch of Bisquick and get a bunch of those little packets of gravy. Guess what? You do that along with, let me see, I think I have a can over here somewhere. Where'd you go? I don't know where it went. Oh, is it over here? Don't know where it went. I had a can of, there it is. Can of sausage with your gravy and biscuits. What a fantastic breakfast. Another one, get some Crusties, just add water. Instant, what's it called? Pancake mix. And some ghee and some 100% pure maple syrup, and you got a fantastic pancake breakfast. You know, you can add to it some fried Spam, or you can add to it some corned beef hash, and you got a phenomenal breakfast. And that's not going to cost you too much, and that could feed your whole family possibly. Let's take a look at a couple other things. So some things I want to recommend you get. Reed 3-bean salad is phenomenal. So Reed 3-bean salad along with Reed potato salad, German potato salad. Now you have to warm this up. Some Aunt Nellie red cabbage. Those three are part of the components of the dinner that Helen cooks for me for my birthday every year. And I'll give you the rest of it when we get a little bit further into the video. You can stop by and get some tuna helper. Is that right side up? Yep, tuna helper right side up. And a can of tuna. And bingo, a meal. Probably for a family of 4. Something else you might want to consider for breakfast. Now, this is how we typically get it, okay? I don't eat it. Helen does. This is another way you can get it. But I buy these, and this has got 20 packs in it. Why do I buy these? Because when somebody who isn't destitute in need of food and clothing comes to my door, instead of saying, "Depart, go in peace, be filled with the Spirit," I can do what is necessary for their body, and that is I can give them food. So I can give them a packet per person in their family. You can also do that. Oh, let me tell you, there's another phenomenal breakfast. Now, this one's going to cost you a little bit more, but Nutrient Survival, the link's down below. I get a small commission if you use my code CWP10, but I'm going to tell you, don't use that code. I got a better deal for you. Rather than me making money off of it, I would rather see you get something extra. This is phenomenal, the Homestyle Scramble. Okay, so that's basically the same thing as a Mountain Man breakfast, or in Germany they call it Bauernfrühstück, farmer's breakfast. But that's eggs, potatoes, bell peppers, onions, everything mixed into this concoction, kind of like a scrambled egg. Now the only thing that's missing is meat, so you can add in either some of that sausage I showed you, or you can add in some diced ham, or you can add in some Spam, into that, and you've got a phenomenal breakfast. So, consider that. Now, when you order that, do me a favor. This is the deal I would rather see you get. When you check out, if you add one of these sample packs, and the value of this is $37.50, so if you add this sample pack to your tray, or to your checkout, then when you do check out, the price of this will be subtracted so that you get this for free. Okay, this is the best deal going, in my opinion. You get one serving of powdered eggs, one serving of milk, one serving of chocolate grain crunch, which is kind of like Cocoa Puffs. You've got one creamy chocolate shake and one cinnamon oatmeal that I showed you that Helen eats. Just phenomenal. Make sure you use that. That's $37.50 for free from Nutrient Survival. So, I mean, that's the way I would go. Okay, let's talk about some others. Let's talk about pasta. So I use angel hair pasta because it's thinner and it cooks quicker than anything else, even quicker than spaghetti. So once I do that, then I can take a look at a couple other things. Thrive Life has some tomato sauce, pasta sauce that's freeze-dried. Then you can get freeze-dried Alfredo sauce, or you can get freeze-dried spaghetti sauce. Both of these come from Rainy Day Foods. I'll put that link down in the bottom. I don't get anything for that. You can get jars of Prego. What we're doing, we probably have 24 jars of different sauces, spaghetti sauces, as we fix spaghetti for the two of us. Now remember, there's only two of us, so this is actually 4 meals, or 4 servings for the two of us. So what we're doing is we're replacing 1 jar with 2 cans of Thrive Life tomato sauce. Now, along with that, of course, some freeze-dried Parmesan cheese. And, what would the world be without meatballs? So Emergency Essentials has some freeze-dried meatballs, as does another great distributor, Freeze-Dried Wholesalers. This is what the military uses. So this is the freeze-dried meatballs that you would get on a submarine or an aircraft carrier. Now, continuing on, there are some other single meals you can get for yourself. Of course, a big can of chunky soup is good for 1 serving for us. So you might need 2 of these to feed you and your other person or family or whatever. Same thing, this feeds 1 person. Mix a little bit, make some rice, probably 2 or 3 cups, and a can of this, and I'm going to say you can feed a family of 4. And this has everything, meats, vegetables, everything you need. The only thing it wouldn't have is a fruit. Another idea for a meal, get yourself some instant potatoes. I prefer these to the boxes, but I also prefer the number 10 cans that you can get from either Thrive Life or the LDS Provident Living Center. And then mix that with a little bit of, and this was at our local grocery store, meatballs and gravy, and you got a fantastic meal there. Some other ideas, take your rice and cook it in a pan with a little bit of tomato sauce or spaghetti sauce. And then once you got it kind of just sizzled a little bit, then add in your water and make your regular rice the rice normal way. That's going to be Spanish rice. That with some beef tamales and some refried beans, and you've got a Mexican meal that's going to serve 4 people. Also, now let's focus on things you can do with rice. This is one of the best things to have in your preps. So you're going to have rice and a can of chicken. Arroz con pollo, chicken and rice. You can also do beans and rice, right? So either pinto beans or dark red kidney beans and rice is a phenomenal meal. You can also get chicken a la king and rice. You can take chicken a la king and also use it with egg noodles, and that's going to be another meal. So chicken a la king and noodles is a great meal. Chili and rice. So this will make 4 servings. So this and 2 cups of rice, and we've got 4 servings, so you can feed a family of 4. Some other things you might want to consider is a box of chili mac. I know you're not going to have ground beef available to you, so the solution to that is Thrive Life has freeze-dried ground beef. So 2 of those together, and you've got chili mac. Now, if you don't want to do that, you can take 1 can of chili this way, and some pasta. Okay, of course, you would use egg noodles or macaroni shells, and either ragu sauce, cheese sauce, or Thrive Life freeze-dried cheese sauce. And guess what? You've got your chili mac made that way. So same thing. If you take dried egg noodles and cook your egg noodles and add to that your cheese sauce, now you're making kind of like macaroni and cheese German style. Add in some freeze-dried onions and then some of this diced ham or freeze-dried ham, and you've got Spätzle Doppelbacht. And so that's what Helen makes for me for my birthday present every year. So let's take a look at 1 or 2 more things, and then we'll wrap this up. One more thing is Margaret Holmes makes some fantastic just add meat fixins, supper fixins. So this is their jambalaya. So the jambalaya just needs to have a little bit of meat added. You can add the sausage that I showed you earlier. You can dice up some Spam and add it to it. You can use some freeze-dried ham. You can take some canned ham and dice it up and throw it in there. You can take some of this medium shrimp that you can find at Walmart on the shelves and use it in there. Or if you prefer to have larger shrimp, Thrive Life has freeze-dried shrimp. So, that's another meal that you're going to have with the Margaret Holmes stuff. And then to kind of finish it up, let's take one more look at breakfast. So you can use either the Nutrient Survival, Nutrient Enhanced Instant Scrambled Eggs, Powdered Eggs. You can get the Thrive Life powdered eggs. You can get the Algerson Farm powdered eggs. And you've got breakfast, right? You're going to either scrambled eggs or an omelet. If you're going to use the omelet, then you're going to add in all kinds of other freeze-dried stuff that we're going to turn into a phenomenal omelet. If you're just going to do scrambled eggs, then you can combine that with hash, or you can combine it with diced or sliced Spam, and you can also use ground beef or anything else that you want to have as far as a meat for the breakfast. And then you can add in one of these containers of Hungry Jack shredded, this is dehydrated, shredded potatoes. And you've got hash brown potatoes. And so that's going to make quite a meal. So I hope this gives you an idea of a whole bunch of different things you can do. Most of it extremely inexpensively, so that you can have a food pantry that's going to last you for quite some time. One last piece of advice. I want you to think, if you buy one meal every time you go to the grocery store, and you only go to the grocery, and you go to the grocery store once a week, that means every week you're going to make one meal. And it's probably going to take a minimum of 2 meals a day for you to survive. So that means every month you're only going to have, if you go to the grocery store every week, you're only going to have 2 additional days if you limit yourself to 2 meals of survival. So I want you to think about meals and meal planning and say, how am I going to feed my family, and how can I get the maximum amount of food in my house in preparation for all these cataclysmic events that everybody is forecasting. The other thing is, I want you to ration your food. That's what we plan on doing here. We have enough food to where we can live like kings for a couple of months, maybe half a year. But we're not going to live like kings for half a year. We're going to live for 2 or 3 years. And so that's the outlook I want you to have as you're doing your food preps. Remember that you can have your caloric intake up here, or you can have it just above the minimum, so that you're surviving and you're eating well with good taste, but you just aren't having 3 humongous meals a day. You're having 2 adequate meals a day. And if you do it that way, you can live a long time. regardless of what happens here in the near future. So remember that we're all in this together so we can come out the other side together. I would really enjoy your comments and suggestions and your food ideas down below, but please be kind, polite, and respectful to each other because togetherness is the key. Take care. Bye-bye.